What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to be talking about the most recent Super Evolution that arrived here on One Piece Treasure Cruise. And you know, the Super Evolutions can really be hit or miss. Sometimes a Super Evo will come out and it's just mind-boggling how good the character is and how powerful it is, and I feel like we've had a couple of those this year, but not too many. But the one that we had most recently, I think, is definitely on the other end of that spectrum, being a character that desperately needed a good upgrade, and I feel like the upgrade that they provided to the unit was not really that great, and we actually haven't made a dedicated video for this character when this character even got announced. And the character that I'm talking about is actually going to be the Sugofest exclusive Hawkins. So this is the character right here, of course. I do have him at level Limit Break 5, so this is as good as you can get him aside from Limit Break Expansion, which does give him an additional turn of cooldown. I will say 10 turn cooldown for what his special does is pretty respectable, I would say, but it's the perspective of the fact that this is a Super Evolution character in 2024. We should be expecting big things from these units. And while they keep the essence of these characters the same as, you know, when they super evolve, they relatively keep them the same as their base form with bigger numbers, of course. This character just feels really, really weird. So let's go ahead and break this character down, and then we'll go ahead and use him in some content today. So he's a Dex Cerebral Slasher. Captain ability here, it actually is vastly different with this first component. Dex characters get they get cooldown reduction, versus gauge reduction, and switch effect gauge reduction by 2. That's actually really nice, and then gives Dex characters 4.5 times attack. Now, this is where things get a bit dicey. 4.5 times attack, obviously not great. Boosting all other characters by 3.75, 1.3 times HP boost. And this is an interesting component here. We've only seen a very small amount of characters do this. Increases all enemies' attack interval by 1 in every battle after preemptive actions. So essentially what this means is after an enemy's preemptive attack, whatever their cooldown is, so let's say they're on a 1-turn cooldown, they're about to hit you with an effect or an attack, this basically clocks them up by 1. So if they're on like a 2-turn cooldown, after their preemptive attack, they go to a 3-turn cooldown. And if you're running double Hawkins, this does activate twice. The thing is this does not count as a delay. So if you activate like a delayed conditional boost, that won't actually give you additional damage against that character. It just clocks their interval up. Very, very weird wording. Honestly, it would be better if it was just a delay, because then you could abuse it in an offensive manner. Unfortunately, it's not the case. It reduces all enemies' HP by 10% at the end of the turn, so it gives you the ability to get around enemy resilience, and it also heals 50% of the damage received during the battle while you move to the next battle. So in one stage, if you take 1,000 damage, it heals 50% of that whenever you move into the next stage. And then it also reduces this character's special charge time by 2 turns on the crew's next turn after you take damage, so it's really good for charging his special very quickly. And then it adds the following effect based on the crew's HP when you use a special. So this is actually very similar to what happened with versus Blackbeard and versus Law. Those characters came out and they had this effect where whenever you use a special, it did a check on your HP, and depending on your HP, you get a different effect. So it refers to HP after launching the special. It says if HP is 80% or below, it adds +1 to character's special launch status. Maximum is +3. So if you don't know what this means, this is all in regards to the special, which we'll talk about in just a moment. The character's super typing effect, when any crew support effect action is triggered by an enemy action. This is a weird thing as well. Another reason why this character isn't that great, because the super type only activates when the enemy gives you an effect, and then you have a support effect that triggers to remove it, and we'll be showcasing that in today's video as well. Which, this effect is decent because it does give you a really good damage reduction, but then it also says sets character's special launch status to 3. We'll talk about that in just a moment in terms of what that means. So the special, 10-turn cooldown, 500 times character's attack and non-type damage to a single target, changes this character's slot and adjacent slots through block into matching. Dex, Cerebral, and Slasher characters get tap timing growth rate of up to 0.6. And then that is also for 3 turns, being pretty good. Allows the crew's chain multiplier growth rate alternating effects to be further increased up to 2 times. This effect also applies to the chain multiplier growth rate from this special. And then it adds 25 times the amount of damage received before you've launched the special, and non-type damage is tap timing bonus damage for 3 turns. Maximum of 7.5 million damage with 6 crew members. So this is very similar to V2 Katakuri. Depending on how much damage you've taken, more tap timing bonus damage is given to your your team. The obvious flaw to this is if you're inflicted with normal attacks only, this effect basically does nothing, so that's a little unfortunate. Launches the following effect based on the character's special launch status. So as it talked about a bit before with the launch status, there's different effects. So essentially, whenever you normally launch the special, it's going to just give you the 80% damage reduction on top of everything. But if you somehow make the launch status 3, which you can do by activating specials or using the super type effect, the effect will give you the 80% damage reduction and then further increase the tap timing growth rate by 0.2, but also makes all enemies into quick type for 1 turn. So this is a very cool mechanic that he gets access to, but the big issue is that this does not go through the ability of status effects or immunity, right? So while this character has interesting mechanics, and at the core of the unit, it is relatively still the same unit, this character could be so much better. The multipliers are just way too low, and considering some of the caliber of characters that we have right now, it just doesn't make sense we get a character released such as this, because if we're not getting a constant release of content to just play around with, these units that release are just pointless. They're redundant. There's literally no need to have them. With the way that Treasure Cruise has been going right now, it's like you just need the point boosters for events, and then when a Super Boss Kizuna comes out, you need good investments on those high tier characters. That's basically all you need. This is a very redundant character, and this is why I do believe that they need to release more casual content to use these types of characters against, because as it stands right now, this character is just going to be collecting a lot of dust in our character boxes. And let's go ahead and actually just use him. Let's go ahead and use him in some content today, just to showcase exactly what he's going to be doing. Okay, so this is the team that we have here. We're going to go up against one of the Garp challenges just to get some missions done. You know how it is. With 6+ Hawkins, look, you just basically want to be running mono decks with him anyway to get the most damage possible. But if you're really just trying to abuse his special ability in weird and wacky ways, you can kind of build whatever you want. But of course, for these challenges, we're going to be building for mono decks. The units on this team are basically just to counter everything, but we're going to try and use all of his effects into great effect here. Hopefully we can anyway, just to showcase what he's all about, because I feel like with the way that Treasure Cruise is, Garp challenges are like one of the cool quote-unquote casual pieces of content that I think a lot of these redundant legends are going to be really fun to test content against, because, like, as I said, Garp challenges, they're not super difficult. Like, they are probably like low to mid-tier difficulty in terms of like the stuff that we get these days. So I think it's going to be kind of fun just to, you know, run into these Garp challenges with some of these older units, especially these new super evolutions, like ones that are probably not going to see much play. Actually, this is kind of fascinating. I just kind of realized this now. This first stage, usually you just kill whatever color. So in this instance, we just want to kill this green guy. But the issue with this is that these guys around him actually do not die, or they don't actually disappear on the first turn. So by killing this Dex guy, he's going to fully charge our specials, which is obviously what we want. But the thing is these guys, they just stick around, so that's actually kind of funny. And I don't really want to get rid of my Wano slots either. So I guess we'll just kind of stall a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and move on. I mean, the end of turn damage that he does do, it's like it said it's a 10% health cut. That's actually like kind of nice that he does get access to that. But it's not like the greatest effect ever, because like there are lots of characters in the game that have the ability to just do an end of turn health cut. Like, it's nothing new, right? Alright, so anyways, moving on to stage 2. This is fine here. We're just going to go ahead and switch. I wonder how much damage we can actually do here. Let's see if we can try and kill this in 1 turn. Usually this stage is really annoying to get through in 1 turn, because these characters have like really high defense. But considering we have all these Wano slots, let's see what we can do here. I should have switched with, did I switch with Sanji and Zora? I did. Oh yeah, we absolutely destroyed that. I mean, the Wano slots are really strong with Hiyori. Shout out to Hiyori for being one of the best legends, man. Super good unit. Okay, so we got Kirby here. We got the Helmeppo stage. Now, you see here that, you know, Kirby's on a 1-turn cooldown. Helmeppo, I think, is also on a 1-turn cooldown. They go up to 3 because of our double Hawkins effect, adding 1 turn to that attack interval, which is, like, super good. I don't think we can actually kill these guys in 1 turn. Let's go ahead and use Bato special, I guess. Bato here. He does have double special launch and has the ability to remove Threshold. Kind of key to have something like that in this content, or something like a really easy rechargeable character to give you Threshold removal. You could use a support and a Threshold removal special as well. We can go ahead and use the switch effect of Zoro to generate some damage, and I don't know if we're going to kill him 1 turn. We at least want to kill Helmeppo. I don't think Kirby does anything on the first turn, but I think he does something if he doesn't die after this. But we can just go ahead and move on straight after this, so this is going to be fine. Should we switch with... No, we don't really need to switch. We're going to get our slots changed in the next turn anyway. Alright, so next stage here is going to be against Smoker, Tashigi, and Hina. So this stage is you know, bringing Sanji Zoro to a content such as this is kind of a terrible idea because they actually do have a really annoying ability where they make the tandem slots non-matching for like 99 turns. So we kind of have to get around that. We do have, this is also where we're going to trigger the super type of Hawkins as well with this support. I really didn't need both of these supports, to be honest, but as long as one of those supports triggered, it does get access to that super type. And I guess at this point here, we probably will use a Hawkins special because we don't have any matching slots. If we use the switch ability of Zoro, we will also get a full board of badly matching slots, should I say. And we kind of want to save Hiyori, so I'm just going to use... Well, we're going to use the Hawkins special, so we might as well just go ahead and use the super type. Everyone becomes super type, which gives us a little bit of additional damage, which is good. And then, now that we've done that, remember that the super type effect does set the special to launch status level 3. So when we go ahead and use the special of Hawkins, I actually haven't seen this special animation, to be honest. This is going to allow us to get the effect where we get the additional tap timing bonus damage bonus added on top. But it does change all of them into quick enemies. So that's pretty hype. Because they don't have full status immunity. They've only got immunity to delay. So, that does switch all of them into quick type. With this little debuff up here. So this thing is such a powerful effect. The problem is that it doesn't go through full immunity. We don't have characters that do it. There's only 2 characters in the game that I remember that actually have the ability to inflict this on an opponent. It's this character and the Super Sugo Shanks from Film Red. But, like... It is a good effect, but if it was able to go through immunity, as well as deal with super-type characters, super-type enemies, that is, then we would be talking. Like, that would be an insanely powerful effect. It is unfortunate that it doesn't work that way. So we'll do a bit of damage here. Kill these guys very easily because they are going to be quick enemies, and the tap timing bonus damage, I guess, coming in kind of clutch, but we haven't really taken much damage anyway, so the tap timing bonus damage is a little redundant at that stage, alright? Let's move on to Kizaru here. Kizaru usually is a bit of a pain. We've got some pretty good luck on matching slots here, which is kind of nice. Let's go ahead and use the dog special, which is going to give us an attack boost. And if we hit 2 perfects, which we should, it will give us the ability to get an orb boost in the next stage. So let's go ahead and just skip that. A little bit more cooldown reduction on Hawkins is always good. Remember, anytime we take damage, Hawkins gives himself -2 turns of cooldown. I believe it's in the captain effect, he gives -2. I only just read it and I completely forgot what it did, but that should be it. So we want to hit some perfects here, and we should have enough damage to get through, as long as we break the barrier here. Oh. Okay, we did break it, and we did get through, which is good. Alright, so now we're on to Fujitora. Fujitora is kind of annoying as well. He does actually hit pretty hard. What are we going to do here? Could we use Hiyori? We don't really want to use the switch effect of Sanji. Do we use the special of Hawkins here? I think we do use Hiyori. I think we're going to use Hiyori. Now, with this, it will give us the full board of Wano slots, and I think when we tap with Hiyori, we'll get some resistance down for characters that are Cerebral and Slasher, and the good thing about this is that Hawkins is both Cerebral and Slasher. Hiyori is also Cerebral and Slasher, so we'll get the full resistance effects added for us here. So I think what we'll do is we'll tap with Hiyori first, and then I think Sanji, or is Dog going to be stronger? No, Zoro is 27. Yeah, okay, so we'll go Hiyori into Dog, into the both Hawkins, and my friend Captain is level 150, so that's going to be the most ideal way here. So I think this will probably be enough damage. We might fall short, and if we do, I think we'll still be okay. Let's give it a shot. Nice, it was just enough damage, which is awesome. And we do have some Wano slots left over, which we can keep, so let's just go ahead and kill. Ding. Bang. Bop. And there we go. So we do have some Wano slots, which is good, which means we can still use the switch effect of Zoro and Sanji, which, yes, it means half our team will have non-matching slots, but with those Wano slots and the attack and orb boost that Sanji and Zoro will give with their super switch, that'll actually be pretty neat. And we got this guy here, and he is a super type character, so the effect of using the Hawkins super type is obviously not going to work. It doesn't matter anyway. We're going to save that for the revive. Let's use the switch effect of Sanji and Zoro, which is going to give us the 2-time, I think it's 2-time, or is it 2.25? 2.25 attack and all boost. Dude, that's such a busted character. We'll use the special as well, because we're not going to get an attack and all boost on the next turn anyway. And let's just go ahead and kill. We'll make sure not to hit too many perfects because of that burn. Bing bong. 24,000 damage from the burn. Unfortunately, I don't think burn damage counts for Hawkins' special, which would have been amazing, but it is what it is. Alright, so he does have the threshold again, so Bato, we're going to use his special to remove that. Technically, what we should have done is use the Hawkins special first and then use Bato, because then we would have gotten the chain lock from him. Doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Let's go ahead and use the special ability of Hawkins, or the super type of Hawkins, which will set this Hawkins to special level 3. We use the special, we get the buffed special, and of course we'll play the special animation because we like that. We like that. And yeah, I just really wish this special was better, to be honest. It just should have been a lot better than what it was. Because while the captain ability is hit and miss, and you know, you've got really strong characters that release as captains these days, if these Super Evolution characters release with really powerful specials so that they still find some use to be used as crewmates, that definitely would help them out. Let's go ahead and use we can't use the second Hawkins special because we have special use limit. Well, it is what it is. We're going to be fine. We should be able to get the dub, no issues. There we go, and we finish with the Hawkins against the Garp Challenge Navy. So there you go. That's Hawkins in a nutshell, pretty much. And there you have it. That is Super Evolution Hawkins, all done and dusted. I don't know when I'm ever going to use this character in the future, to be honest, but, you know, he is what he is. You know, it's a brand new Super Evo. It's cool that we get it, but it just could have been a lot better than what he currently is. But at least the sprite for this character looks really, really cool, so that's at least something positive for him. Gotta give him something at least. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about 6+ Legend Hawkins down below in the comment section. I think he's mostly forgettable, but I'd love to see what you guys have to say about this guy. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.